Hello again, this is Carl Mullen with Rabbit Home Deals. First off, let me start off by saying if you know anybody who's looking to sell their house, have them call 352-480-0955. Okay, that was a obvious sales pitch. But let me finish going into my backstory. And this time I said I was going to talk a little bit about why I decided to do real estate. Like I mentioned, it was control and passive income. That was the two main factors that I was looking at for real estate. In the last video, I kind of scanned a little bit of my library. That represents probably close to $200,000 worth of training that I've done over the last 7 years. So was it worth it? Yes. Some of the training was extremely well done. Some of the training I wish I had never gone to. There was a couple of gurus out there that if we talked privately, I could tell you who to stay away from, and I could tell you which ones were the good ones because I've been to a lot of them. So anyway, the reason for real estate, like I said in the first video, I was a project manager when I was with Verizon before I retired. And I thought those skills would transfer very well over to rehabbing. And indeed they did. So one of the things that the gurus talk about, they talk about all the big money you can make in rehabs. And that's true. You can make good money in rehabs. You take a lot of risk doing it. You borrow money at very high interest rates. At least most people, when you tell them the interest rates that I'm paying, which basically averages between 10 and 15%, they think I'm crazy. But then I just ask him, I said, well, have you ever looked to see what the interest rate is on your credit cards? That's usually 18%. Somehow people lose sight of that. They don't seem to think anything about 18% on a credit card, but if I'm telling them I'm borrowing money at 10 to 15% short term to flip a house, they think that's outrageous. I guess it's all in your perspective. But that's basically cost of doing business in flipping houses. Now, a lot of the gurus, they talk about flipping houses and they basically walk you through the process, which is good to know what the process of a rehab is. In other words, find the deal, estimate your repair costs, make an offer according to a particular formula. If it meets that formula and you can get the deal, then you get the deal and put it together. That's pretty much where the gurus stop for the most part. One of my mentors is a gal by the name of Robin Thompson. She's rehabbed or flipped over 400 houses in her career so far. She is probably the best when it comes to rehab and learning how to rehab. Even she gave a lot of what I would say is a lot of, yes, you need to do this, you need to do this, you know, what to do, what to do, what to do. And that's true of all the gurus. I mean, they only have, in Robin's class, it's 5 days. It's the longest boot camp of any of the gurus out there. So she packs a lot into that 5 days. But even with the 5 days, she's covering a lot of things other than just rehabbing houses. She's covering marketing, she's covering asset protection, she's covering some of the legal requirements that you're going to have to meet. She's going to talk about what to put in the house as far as, you know, what kind of water faucets, what kind of light fixtures, what kind of paint color do you want to use, that kind of stuff. So she goes into quite a bit of detail about that kind of stuff. But then when you're out there and you're on your own, what you really don't understand is what it's going to take to get a house flipped quickly and get it right back on the market. And so that's what my wife and I ran into when we first started flipping houses. And crazy as we are, the third house that we purchased was a $100,000 rehab. And I will be the first to tell you that a $100,000 rehab is too big a rehab for a new rehabber. New rehabbers really need to stick with something with a little more cosmetic work to it. So anyway, That was $100,000. We thought we bought it for 20. We sold it for 189. We put 100,000 into it, and we thought we were going to be making $50,000 or $60,000 on that house. We ended up making 15 because of the length of time it took us to get it done. Number one, and number two, we got ripped off by a contractor to the tune of $5,000. So that was another big hit in the profit margin. So, but the biggest hit, of course, was the amount of time it took us to get it done. So there are some requirements. We were told about this when we took those classes on rehabbing, but until you get out there in the trenches and you start doing it yourself, you don't really realize how important that stuff really is. It's one thing when somebody tells you about it, it's another thing when you actually have to live it and suffer through the loss of a profit because you didn't get it done according to what you were told. So we're going to save that for the next video. I hope you're enjoying these videos that I've been making, and we'll be back again in the next one. So we'll see you later. And this is Rapid Home Deals, and I'm Carl Mullen.